me, it came out of necessity. It was wanting to do my own thing and not to worry about or rely on bandmates or a drummer or a keyboard player or other horn players at the time. I was a trumpet player full time. But the very first time I ever saw anybody doing a live looping thing, I clicked on this website and said, street musician makes entire song using just his voice, hashtag one man band. So I click on it. Of course, I'm expecting the guy with the trombone in his armpit, and the kazoo come out of his mouth, and the whole thing. And I click on it. This guy's in some street corner. He's beatboxing, he's rapping, he's singing. There's all these harmonies and what I would later discover to be delays and reverbs all shining around and all that kind of stuff. They just blew my mind. And I started looking at this particular artist time and time again. I just watched everything I could, and I was like, that's what I want to do right there. That artist was Dub Effects, and he was the one, through his videos, took me from being a trumpet player that was kind of lost and didn't know what he wanted to do in music to, that's what I want to do right there. Everyone else just stop, shh, and went out and got just a little bad karaoke microphone, a really bad little amp, but I got a killer loop pedal. And that was my very first rig that I ever got. And that's how I got my start in the live looping, was by seeing him. I was like, man, if he can make that music on his own and on his own terms, I can do that. The name Just Alliance, it's what I do rather than who I am. Because at the time, if I used my real name on a flyer, people would expect to see a trumpet player. So a friend of mine told me, you know what? You should come up with a moniker. So I was like, a moniker, like a stage name? I was like, yeah. So instead of having this some weird, just pull it out of your hat kind of name, it came up with Just Alliance because A, it kept my initials involved, J.A. But why do I do music? And for me, why I've always done music is because it brings people together across race barriers, political barriers, socioeconomic barriers, gender barriers, sexual orientation barriers, all that. It brings people together, an alliance, right? But something good, something true, something honest, something real, something just. So a positive group, a good family, just alliance. The moniker is really summed up why I do it rather than who I am. I'd say my favorite performance. Oh man, that's really hard. It's crazy. I remember a couple summers back, actually probably 3 or 4 years ago now, that, being a true working musician, it doesn't take much to keep you grounded. I remember once upon a time that I did a gig at Caesars, and there was like 2,000 people at this event. And the next night I was asked to come out to this coffee house and perform, and there was 15 people there. But both of those were fun because I gave them both the same amount of energy. And I gave them both, maybe I gave the 15 people 2,000 people's worth of energy, and maybe gave the 15 or the 2,000, 15 people's worth of energy. I don't know. But I don't know if those were my favorite performances, but I remember that, that 24-hour duality right there. 24 hours, you play at arguably the most recognized hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, and then you go play this little coffee house for 15 people. So I remember that. I don't know if it was my favorite performance, but they were definitely memorable. I disagree. I don't know if it's who you're with that would make the performance special. I think it's why you do it. Because if you're out there and your goal is to play in front of 65,000 people, but you're playing maybe you're playing a private event for 200 people, 300 people. But your goal is that 65,000 people. Well, if you're not happy with that, because your mind is on that 65,000 people, well, maybe the why you should do it is that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give these 200 people everything I have. I'm gonna do a better performance than last night or the night before, or 2 nights ago. For me, what makes it worthwhile is why you do it. And man, you have an opportunity to get in front of people and express your heart. You get the opportunity to sit there and play on killer stages or venues and do the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, puts you to bed late at night. You've been practicing all night, 5 a.m. when the sun's coming. So for me, it's the why you do it, not necessarily who you're with. Because I've done plenty of shows where artists maybe you get along with them, maybe you don't. Maybe the venue's great, maybe it's not. But if you're just there and remember, I'm here because this is what I love to do. Every day, every night's Friday night.